Hello everyone, welcome back to the Walking Equestrian Podcast. How are you? How has your week been? Although I think it's been longer than a week, so sorry. The last episode was with Alana and Georgie, talking all about dog groom. What was that noise? Oh, it was Ferg. Talking all about dog grooming and her business and etc, etc. So I hope you guys enjoyed that episode. It was really fun to film. And I think it was really informative from someone who obviously runs a dog grooming business and has kind of started from scratch. So I hope some of you found that really informative. I feel like there's a lot of people who would like to become dog groomers, and don't really know where to start. So yeah, it was a really, really fun episode to film. And record. So yeah. How's your week going? How are the horses? How are your dogs? How are your kids if you've got kids? Hopefully life is treating you very well. What has been going on the last week? Do you know what? I have to go onto my camera roll to remember what I've been up to the last week, because if someone said to me, what have you been up to the last week? I'm like, I don't know. I literally have no idea. Oh, this is exciting. It is my first Monday of November, so it's the 4th, Monday the 4th right now, where I'm not dog walking. It's my first Monday, I say off work, but I'm not looking at it as a day off work, because I am taking the day off every Monday, every week, to throw into my social media. And I'm dedicating time to my podcast, to editing vlogs, and also to prioritise other things. So little jobs like I need to book a dentist appointment, I need to do things like that. And I went for a nice long walk with Bella, Freddie and Ferg, and it didn't make a difference to me, to my business or financially, which I am indigestion. I'm really, really grateful for, because I do realise that it's a massive privilege to be able to take Mondays off. I know that is not a thing for many people, so I do realise the privilege to have Mondays off, and it's just a day that I'm going to be dedicating to make sure I get an episode out every week on the podcast, because I really enjoy it, because I love podcasts and I love the chatty, hardly edited podcast where you feel like you're on FaceTime to your friends, and that's exactly what I want to give to you guys. So that's obviously happened today, so I'm just filming a podcast episode for you all to get up this week. What else has been going on? Hang on, let me look at my camera roll again. Oh, I've been hacking. Went for a nice hack on my part lone pony. It's been really nice getting to know him. If you want to know more information on that, I've done a YouTube video about it. So hang on, I'm going to sneeze. Sorry, did I just burst your eardrums? I'm really sorry. So it's really nice getting to know him. We went for a little stroll up the lane. And then on Saturday, we went... Where did we go? Oh no, we did some schooling. That was really nice. Again, I've just uploaded a weekend vlog, so all of this is there if you want to go and watch that. But yeah, it's been really nice to get to know him. He's so lovely. He's such a lovely horse. I'm going to ride him tomorrow as well, which will be Tuesday. So yeah, I did quite a few horsey things. What else have I been doing? Camera roll. Oh my god, yesterday I gutted my stable out. So poor Lux, bless her, she's had some really aggressive ringworm the last sort of 3 weeks. Thankfully she's not contagious anymore, so no one panic. Not that any of you listening to this are going to get it. Got the cheese touch. That's literally what I think of when with anything contagious. Anyways, so yeah, she had ringworm. She's not contagious anymore. She's just got all her scabs that are kind of falling off now. But obviously I had to completely gut my stable and my rugs and my grooming kit, basically everything that I could have touched or she could have touched or worn, saddle pads, literally everything. So on Sunday I gutted everything, covered everything in Dettol. I even dragged all my mats out my stable. I washed my whole stable out, washed all my rubber matting, stable door, everything. Hang on, just having a sip of coffee. So many of you would have hated that, but funny story, I actually love ASMR. I love ASMR. Joe always says if I ever have ASMR and I have to put headphones in because it makes him it irks him. I love ASMR. I actually have fallen asleep to it many a times. Anyway, so sorry if you absolutely hated that. I've just spilled coffee on me. Great. What were we talking about? Gutting my stable. So yeah, I did that yesterday. It was hard work, and I did it in the rain that was just like making everything soaking. But it's a really good job to get ticked off. So yeah, everything is now anti-backed, anti-fungal, covered in Dettol. Love my life. And yeah, that's what I did yesterday. Obviously last week just worked. So sad. So sad. I was meant to go and see Saz and Jem. If you follow them on TikTok, if you know, you know. I was meant to go see them last week on Thursday, and I'm really sad because I didn't make it. I had to do horses, and then I had a paired walk in the afternoon, which meant I wouldn't get there till late, and then I had work sort of first thing Friday morning. Did I have work? No, I had work Friday morning, so it would have been just a massive rush, so I was really sad. But I am heading to Your Horse Live this weekend. Oh my god, this weekend we're going to Your Horse Live. On the Sunday I'm going, so I'm hoping to see them. I feel like they'll probably go on the Saturday. Majority of the time people go on the Saturday, don't they? So yeah, hopefully we'll see them this weekend. If not, definitely at London International, which will be exciting. So Saz and Jem, if you're listening, I'm so sorry I didn't make it to you. What else has been going on? Oh, I've had a yard of horses, like a new yard of horses. I feel like my hair is just not hairing. New yard of horses, which I did all of last week. They were really easy peasy, very good boys. What else? Oh, me and Joe went for lunch at Georgie's work at the cafe. That was really nice. But obviously, other than that, I have just been working. Dog walking obviously takes up a lot of my time Monday to Friday. So I've been doing that. And I'm just trying to think if there's any other updates. Oh, me and Joe might do a Christmas party. How exciting. We haven't really thought about it, and we really should, because obviously this is the time where people are going to get like dates for like Christmas work parties and things like that. So we really need to get, if we are going to do it, we need to get a date. So yeah, that's kind of the last week of updates. I'm really sorry it's not actually that exciting. Yeah, I'm going to film some podcast episodes with some guests this weekend, so you guys will see that. So it's not just going to be me sat chatting in your ear, you'll actually get some sort of conversation, so that's exciting. So in today's episode, I thought we could do something really exciting. I thought we could answer some of your guys' dilemmas. So I think it was like a month ago, I put on my Instagram stories your dog walking dilemmas as well as your horsey dilemmas as well. So I've got them here on a Instagram story, and I'm going to go through them and basically answer them as we go along. So the first one is, got asked to dog sit for someone and they asked if I could take them to the airport, lol. Do you know what? It's really hard because I think it just is very situational. It depends on the customer. What is your relationship like with that customer? And how far is it? What's the drive like? How many people are you taking? Like, I think it's very situational. I think ultimately, if you don't feel comfortable with doing it, don't do it. But I feel like if you do feel comfortable with that customer and you obviously going to pay you and etc., then, and if you feel comfortable with it, then I suppose you can do it. Obviously, you'll have to double check with like your insurance and things. I don't know how it would work. So yeah, I think that's very situational, to be honest. It depends on the customer. Depends if you're comfortable. Ultimately, I think I would say no. But then again, it just depends. Yeah, it just depends, I think. Right, next one. Dog sat for a dog who realised they had fleas. Would you end the house sit or carry on? I personally ended it. This is really, really hard. Really hard because obviously you're house sitting and dog sitting for someone because 9 times out of 10 they've gone on holiday or they've gone away. So I think to let them down for fleas, which mean they'd have to come back, I think that would mortify me more than dealing with the fleas. Oh, I don't know, because then it's really hard, because then I suppose I wouldn't be able to work, or would I? Because I could flea bomb the house. You can get flea bombs. I think, to be honest, if this was me, and this is personal opinion, I would have carried on. I would have said to them, look, this has been like chaos. I am going to have to charge because I've had to flea bomb your house. I've had to flee the dogs. And also, because what you'd have to do is make sure that, one, those dogs don't go anywhere near your other customers' dogs, and two, you're not cross-contaminating the car or your clothes or your dog. So you'd have to like put in procedures like change your clothes, do not like make sure the dogs aren't going in your car, and then that's really hard because what if the owner doesn't have good walking there? So I think I would have had to persevere, but I probably would have said, I'm going to have to charge a bit extra because I've had to do all this extra work like flea bombing and making sure there's no cross-contamination in the car and all these different like procedures you have to do to make sure that fleas aren't going everywhere and passing on to other dogs. But ultimately, I don't think I could personally let the customer down. Yeah, I don't think I could. But then again, it's situational because if they're local, then you could just say, look, the house is covered in fleas. I have other dogs to walk. If it's not too much of a hassle, but then at the same time, like, obviously they've got you there for a reason, and that's to house sit and dog sit. That's a really hard one. Really, really hard. Okay, the next one. My Jack Russell caught a smell and started to run. As he was running, it scared the sheep, so they started running, which he then thought was really fun, and chased them. As I was calling him, my 6-month-old puppy ran in the opposite direction. Then I couldn't see my Jack Russell at all, so just had to get the puppy. After catching him and looking for the Jack Russell for over an hour, his lead was wrapped around a tree behind a barbed wire fence. Not that big of a deal, but I thought he had been shot. Absolutely terrifying. But then at the same time, farmers do have right over their livestock. And I think it's hard because, like, even like horses, if you had a random dog chasing your horse around a field, I think you'd be pretty peed off, not gonna lie. What I would do with that Jack Russell is probably not ever take off the lead ever again. Or take them to a secure field or learn recall. I don't know, that's really scary. Yeah, you've got to be so careful around livestock, really, really careful. 1-year-old labs recall. We struggled with this with Bella. Again, I'm not a dog trainer at all, but recall is literally just consistency and repetition, like more so than you think, even if there's nothing there. Like with Ferg, for example, we literally do it like we're constantly keeping him in, like probably every 30 seconds to a minute, we're Fergie come, like literally, and constant reward, even if there is no reason why he should be coming back to us, like if there's not another distraction or not another anything, like there's not anything else going on other than him just being able to mooch and sniff. It's just all the time, just recall them back, so they know that when they come back it's a treat and it's positive. And it also like kind of keeps them close to you as well, rather than like going, not that Ferg is honestly wired at the moment, like generally he's so wired at the moment. So yeah, I am not a dog trainer, however that's just my tips, is consistency and repetition. But in terms of how to actually teach it recall, I would recommend going to see a dog trainer or getting some more like professional advice, because I wish I could give you the professional advice, but I don't have it. Dot once jumped on a very posh man wearing cream corduroy trousers with muddy feet, I think. That is awful, and I've had this happen to me. But I'm going to stick up for myself because, and it's one of my like pet peeves about being a dog walker, is how members of the public are very like quick to approach you unannounced. Which is absolutely fine. I get not many people want to talk to strangers or announce themselves. However, like, even if I'm just out with Ferg and we're just on a walk and I see someone and they can't see me, I say, oh, I'm just coming up, or I'm just coming past you, or I'm just coming up to your left. And I think it's the horse gene in me, because you have to obviously communicate with other riders if you're in a warm-up arena, or especially out on the hunt field, you communicate with other riders to say just behind you, or just to your left, or just coming past, or anything like that. But when people like announce themselves, no, they don't announce themselves, sorry, and then obviously your dog gets startled, and before you even had chance to recall the dog or put the dog on a lead, they've obviously gone to them because they're there within 2 seconds, and neither you or the dog have had time to even process that there's someone there. So hopefully it was one of those situations and the man didn't announce themselves, and like, it's not your fault. because people can be like, and then they turn funny on you, and you're like, if you'd given me a chance to recall my dog and put them on a lead and control the situation, that's fine, but you didn't announce yourself, and then all of a sudden you're stood right next to me and the dog's like completely jumped and it's just gone, ah. I mean, yeah, it's hard because dogs shouldn't jump up, but at the same time, dogs are dogs at the end of the day, and if someone's going to come up behind them and go boo, they're going to go, oh my god, there's a person there. So yeah, I can imagine that was so awkward though. I once had to dog sit in a dirty hoarder's house. It was horrific. I had a meet and greet, and how could I decline by saying, sorry, your house is just really grim, I'm not staying there. Again, I think it comes down to what you're comfortable with. Obviously everyone, you know, lives differently. Everyone has different things that they're going on, you know, behind the scenes that you don't know about, and, you know, everyone's lives are very different and what they deal with mentally, physically, financially, etc, etc. But at the end of the day, no matter what the situation is, even if the house isn't in that state, it's just whatever you feel comfortable with. And if you don't feel comfortable with the situation, then it's your responsibility to take control of your emotions and what you're comfortable with, and just say, I'm really sorry, but I don't feel comfortable to stay here. I'm really sorry. And always give a recommendation. So for me, I never want to like let anyone down or leave anyone in the dark. So if you can give a recommendation for someone that you know could do the house sit or could do the dates, etc, etc, just don't put yourself in uncomfortable situations. And that's probably what I would have done. I would have said, I'm really sorry, but I don't feel comfortable staying here. You don't even have to offend them. You don't have to be rude. You don't have to, do anything, because again, you don't know what is going on in someone's life. Even if you go to their house and do a meet and greet, you don't know the behind the scenes. So yeah, I think be professional, be polite, and just say you're not comfortable staying here, and give a recommendation for someone who might be able to do it. I think that's what I would have done. Got dragged in the mud by 4 different dogs on the same day. Literally, story of my life is mud, dogs on leads and wellies, and being dragged through the mud. It's awful. The next one, customers like to chat when you drop their dog back, but now going to be late for the next one. This is hard because obviously you want to chat to your customers and catch up with them and be polite and have a chat with them, especially if you do, I find anyways personally, like if you do elderly customers, they are a lot more chattier because obviously they don't get as much company, and it is really hard. It's really hard, but you've just got to say, oh, I'm so sorry, we've been chatting for ages. My next one, I'm going to be late. Like, just do little hints like that, like really polite. And then you'll be like, I'm so sorry, I've got to go, is that all right? Like, just be polite about it. You don't have to just walk away and just be like, oh my God, I'm late for the next one. Just be polite, but also stern, and just be like, I'm so sorry. Are we all right to carry this on tomorrow? I'm so sorry, I've just got to get to my next one. Is that all right? And they go, yeah, no, that's absolutely fine. Like, you can be polite about it and still be stern and be like, I've got to go. Because you don't want to be late for your next one, because that's another owner to be upset and also the dog to be upset, and then your day runs behind. And I hate being late. Being late stresses me out. Oh my God, I hate being late. It really, do you know what it is? It's not the being late. I hate then being rushed. Like, the feeling of being rushed puts me off being late. Does that make sense? So like, that's why I'm always early to things, because I would rather be early than someone rush me, because the feeling of being rushed makes me hot, it makes me sweaty, makes me stressed. I hate being rushed. Hate it. So yeah, that's that. Okay, the next one. I'm a dog walker and have solo big dogs that pull so bad. In these situations, put your foot down. When I first started, I had walked so many big dogs. So many, that's dramatic. But I had walked big dogs that would pull my arms out and I was not in control. And at the end of the day, you have to be professional about this. If you are not in control of a dog and that dog either pulls you over and hurts you hard and you can't work, if that dog then pulls you over, gets loose and is reactive or doesn't have any recall, because I'm guessing they're on the lead for a reason, that's a dangerous situation. So if you can't control the dog, that's when you tell the owner that, and you're upfront, you're honest, you're polite. You say as a dog walker, I'm really sorry, but I physically can't control your dog. And again, you just have to have an open, upfront conversation about it. It's going to be awkward, right? It's going to be awkward, but at least you're being honest. And it is really good for owners to see it with their own eyes, because then, they've seen you and they're like, okay, yeah, no, they can't you know, control the dog. So we need to control the situation. But yeah, don't walk a dog if you're not in control, because it's just an accident waiting to happen, I'd say. Someone put the box isn't big enough. Fair enough, hun. When the dog owner complains about the dog being wet when it's raining, this is just red flag in a customer, like absolute red flag. As long as you're doing your bit, that's all I say, as long as you're doing your bit, like you're towel drying the dog, you're asking the owner to leave a towel out at the front door. Is there anywhere they want their dogs after the walk, so that if they are wet, sofas aren't getting ruined, carpets aren't getting ruined, is like you put things in place so that, you know, so the owner's happy. I always I put a message in my big APO group chat and I say, please leave a towel out, or if you want your dog to go anywhere, let me know, or if they're wet, what do you want me to do? So that they can literally say to me, this is what I want you to do when the dog is wet. Because I'm sorry, if you have a dog walker, they can't, especially in groups, you can't be walking around lanes. And even if you are walking around lanes, we're in the UK, so it rains a lot. So obviously the dog is going to get wet even if you are just walking around the lanes and the roads and things. So yeah, it's really hard. I'd have a conversation with them and say, I know you're not happy about the dog being wet. What would you like me to do about this situation? Because you can't control the weather. Sorry, hun, you just can't. And they're a dog at the end of the day, so they're going to get wet. They're going to get wet. And if they're house precious, then again, it's just coming down to like having a conversation with them about it. One time on my group walk, I was joined by a random dog. Turned out to be a dog another walker was walking. She'd lost this dog for an hour and then proceeded to tell me that it happens all the time. Not the best vision if that was my baby. Yeah, not great. That shocks me, you know, a dog walker who just loses a dog. All I can say to that is massive, massive red flag for the dog walker. Okay, we've got a couple of horsey ones as well. How to make your daughter's pony dream happen. So I'm guessing you mean like get them a pony or anything like that. And yeah, I would, if I was you, if they are young, don't jump to buying them a horse, because it's a massive responsibility and it's a massive financial commitment, Go to like pony clubs at riding schools, or take her to a riding school, or you can get shares, like go on Facebook and look if there's any local shares that like sharer opportunities, where you can still go and be around horses and ride and learn how to look after them. And then when they're older, if they're still interested and want to be a part of the whole equine community, then you can look at other options. But just try and do as many pony things as you can, because you can find cheap alternatives, like the sharer one, for example. That's a lot cheaper than sort of like riding schools and things like that. So that's my tips for how to make your daughter's pony dream come true. My new horse jumped a 5-bar gate on his first day. That was fun. That's terrifying. It's so hard getting a new horse and them settling and things. It's such a process, isn't it? That is terrifying. Hacking with a new horsey friend, 10 minutes into hack, spooked and ended up in a ditch. That is terrifying. Are they okay? Yeah, let me know. Using controversial aids on a young horse. My perspective on other people doing things that I just don't agree with or don't particularly like with horses, young horses, is no matter what, if you try and give your opinion to someone else, they're just not going to listen to it. Like, unless they've actually asked you for your opinion, there's no point giving someone your opinion, because they're probably not going to listen to you anyways. So that's why I never give my opinion to anyone based on anything, unless they literally say to me like, oh, Tay, what do you think about that? And then I'll be like, oh, well, if it was me, maybe I'd like try this. I wouldn't say, well, I think you should do that. I just don't understand why in the horsey community people think they can give an opinion that wasn't asked for. Like, hun, it literally wasn't asked for. Even if you do not like it whatsoever, okay, understandably, if they're literally like abusing their horse or neglecting their horse, but like, if someone is using something that you don't like, if you like, how are we going to change that? Like, it's so hard. The equine community is huge, and of course, I do not agree with, strapping young horses' head to the floor to get them in an outline. Of course I don't. But equally, I'm not about to like go up to someone and get in an argument with them, because even if I did that, where am I gonna get? They're probably just gonna do it more. So just do what you're comfortable with and what is right. And if you don't know where to go in that situation, go to a professional. Because nowadays it's so touchy. Like, it's so touchy. And just do what you're comfortable with. And if someone else is doing something that's upsetting you, have a polite conversation with them. If you feel like you need to say something and sort of try, then completely fair. Like, have a conversation and say, look, why do you do this? Can you teach me why? Like, what are the benefits to this? And educate yourself on it. And if you say, oh, okay, like, oh, don't know if I'm a fan of that, fine. They're still going to carry on and do it, which is so heartbreaking, I know, and it's so wrong. It's so wrong, but it's almost like keeping your own peace. Like, if you need to say something, yes, by all means, I'm saying have a conversation with them. But equally, it's so hard to speak to someone who's very, like, set in their ways and aren't going to listen to you anyways, which is heartbreaking. I know, it's really, really heartbreaking. Went to get my loan pony, and it turns out different pony, same coat, same colour and rug. It was my first time. Oh, no. Why didn't they tell you? Did you not have anyone help you for your first time? Well, hopefully you got it right the next time. Bless you. I would have done the same thing, don't worry. Honestly, I would have done the exact same thing. Someone should have been with you if it was your first time. Hopefully they didn't, like, make fun of you or anything like that. But hopefully you got the right one the next time. Right, guys, I am going to leave this episode here. That was really fun, doing, like, little cutesy dilemmas. I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. Guys, I'm so excited. All of November it's actually me, recording fun episodes with guests and on my own, and we're doing Vlogmas. So make sure you're subscribed to my YouTube channel, because I post, like, lifestyle vlogs and fun days out, etc. So if you fancy watching that, it's the Walking Equestrian on YouTube, the Walking Equestrian on Instagram, as well as TikTok as well. And we're doing 2 videos a week on YouTube and 1 episode a week on the podcast with a really fun guest. So each week, by the way. So stick around for that. If you've got all the way to the end, you can give me a follow on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Or you can leave me a 5-star review, whatever you can be asked to do, to be honest. And I will see you guys next week for another episode of The Walking Equestrian. Bye.